Well, welcome back to Edison International Field in Anaheim, where tonight the Padres and the Anaheim Angels meet. Let's take a look at the batting order tonight for the Padres. Al Martin will lead off and play left field. Damian Jackson at shortstop, batting second. Tony Gwynn was originally scheduled to start in right field. He has some stiffness in his lower back, so he's been scratched for precautionary reasons. Eric Owens will play right field and bat third. Phil Nevin, the former Angel, at third base, hitting fourth. Ryan Klesko at first base. Brett Boone at second. Ruben Rivera, who's had a very strong spring so far, is in center field, batting seventh. Speaking of outstanding springs, Carlos Hernandez, a .523 hitter this spring. He will catch and bat eighth. And since we are in American League Park, we're using the designated hitter tonight. Ed Sprague is the DH for the Padres. Left-hander Scott Schoenweiss, 26 years of age, out of Duke University, used mainly as a relief pitcher last year. In fact, solely in relief, 31 times out of the bullpen. But despite two rough outings previously, giving up 16 runs and 22 hits in his last two outings, he is in the rotation.
Well, the Anaheim Angels think that this guy may have been misused last year. He was always a starter at the minor league level, and he never had a losing year. He's a big, strong left-hander. He's got a good sinking fastball. It's one of those heavy-type fastballs. He's always thrown strikes, and they think he'll succeed as a starter.
And defensively for the Angels tonight, rookie Benji Molina behind the plate. Movon at first base. Adam Kennedy, recently acquired from the Cardinals, at second. Veteran Gary DeSarcina at shortstop. The pride of Carlsbad High School, Troy Gloss at third. And a solid outfield despite the loss of Jim Edmonds. Darren Erstad in left. Garrett Anderson moves into center field. And Tim Salmon in right. Glad you can be with us from Anaheim. As the Padres and Angels meet tonight here and then tomorrow afternoon at Qualcomm Stadium. And the Padres will leave for Mobile, Alabama, in a Sunday exhibition game against their AA affiliate. Then we'll open the season Monday in New York against the Mets. And the first pitch to Al Martin is a strike. Despite his well-documented off-the-field problems, Al Martin has played well on the field, hitting .316 with 3 homers, driven in 9 runs. And he gives a lot of credit to Tony Gwynn. They've been spending a lot of time together. Tony helping him with his swing. He's trying to become more consistent, understand what he's doing at the plate. Tony was scheduled to start tonight, but nothing serious, just a little stiffness in his back. He'll sit this one out. Bouncer up the middle. This could be trouble. DeSarcina fires to first just in time to get Al Martin.
That's a welcome sight for the Anaheim Angels, seeing Gary DeSarcina, their leader, basically the captain on their ball club, healthy this year going into the season. This is the reason here. He's not going to dazzle you offensively, but he's going to make most of those plays. Look at that in-between hop right there. Got to make the exchange. He knows Martin's hustling down the line. Just get him by a step.
And now Damian Jackson steps in to face Scott Schoenweiss. Jackson hitting .296, 2 homers, 7 runs batted in this spring. More importantly, though, getting on base. His on-base percentage a very respectable .377. Been a little more patient. He's walked 7 times to go along with his 16 hits. And he scored 18 runs, and I think that's a stat Bruce Bochy really likes. And he drives this one to the gap in right center field. That's in there for extra bases. And Damian Jackson into second base with a double.
Mel, talking with a lot of the players before the game, they're a little bit cautious these last 2-3 spring training games. Nobody wants to get hurt. A situation right there. Jackson might have been looking to get to third base. If this was the first game of the regular season, he might have been coming. But right away, Tim Flannery held him up. We don't need any pulled hamstrings, any pulled groins, no injuries going into opening day.
And Bruce Bochy was telling us before the game that Damian probably will not play a whole lot tonight. He's got a couple of nagging injuries, in particular a finger that he jammed sliding in head first. Been doing a lot of running, stealing bases this spring. His legs are a little sore, so he probably won't see a lot of action tonight. Eric Owens takes a strike. Plate umpire is Jim Wolf, Ian Lamplew, and Brian Runge working the bases. And as most fans know, the American and National League umpires will be combined this year. No longer separate American and National League crews. Trying to standardize the strike zone. There goes Damian trying to steal third. Molina fires, not in time. And Damian Jackson running extremely well this spring. That's his 7th stolen base in 9 tries.
What happened to the bad finger? We thought he was going to be cautious tonight. Not only does he get the jump, he steals the base easily, but it's the head first slide once again. You can see the hand there padded somewhat, the left side. in there easily, and once again, Damian Jackson with a stolen base.
Well, he's worked real hard to win the starting shortstop position, and he's not going to let up despite those nagging injuries. He leads the National League in steals with 7 this spring. Now the infield playing in. And it's 1-2 to Eric Owens, trying to give the Padres the lead. Scott Schoenweiss out of Duke University. His numbers this spring are not real good. 22 2/3 innings. He's given up 33 hits. Line foul by Owens.
The coaching staff of the Anaheim Angels say that those numbers partially have something to do with playing in Arizona. We know that everybody's average is inflated somewhat coming out of the Cactus League, but also the fact that he has centered a lot of his fastballs. There's Mike Scioscia, the manager of the Angels, former catcher in the big leagues, knows that you've got to stay on the corners to be successful.
Broken bat roller to short. DiSarcina checks the runner and throws out Owens as Damian Jackson holds at third.
Mike Scioscia taking a chance right there. Obviously, it's spring training, doesn't mean a whole lot, but he brings the infield in here just to see what his young left-handed pitcher can do with it. When that infield comes in, you're telling the pitcher you want him with something down. Keep it on the infield. Let these guys work for you. Play works for not only Schoenweiss, but for Mike Scioscia as well.
And now Phil Nevin, the cleanup hitter, up. Phil has been hobbled by a sprained ankle and missed 2 weeks of spring training. He's only had 36 at-bats. Hitting .194, but put up big numbers last year, finally getting a chance to play regularly. Finished with 24 homers, 85 runs batted in, and was awarded a multi-year contract. DiSarcina over to first, and Movan digs it out as the Padres leave a runner at third. The end of a half inning from Anaheim. It's the Padres nothing, and the Angels coming up.